welcome everyone. I'm just really happy that you could all be here, and I'm just so happy that Carl could be here with us today to speak with us, and I'm going to turn it over to him in a minute. But I gotta say that you know, I've had some calls from the media, and they keep talking to me about these polls. Now, yesterday when I talked to the media, somebody was up 30 points. Now today they call me and they said, you know, it's only a 14-point spread. But let me tell you what I told them, and this is what I firmly believe. Number one, I don't believe in these polls. And number two, the only poll that I believe in is the poll that we're going to see on November 2nd when we take Julie Miller. I want to thank Julie and her husband Terry, who provided us with the music. They've also written they have a song for Carl, and so when they're done singing, Judy's going to introduce Carl, and he'll come up and speak to you. So right now, I'd like Judy and her husband to perform this song for us. Carl Paladino.
You rock, Judy. Chairman Preston, Tommy, everyone here. Thank you. Thank you for being there all the way at this thing. The lady in, I can't remember her name, in the back over there, she says, why didn't you bring Duke with you? Well, Dookie said he's one of the casualties of the campaign. He's at home. We have some people there keeping the press away. Yesterday, the New York Times sent a reporter from New York down to Buffalo, went up to City Hall and the Bureau of Vital Statistics, and they checked to see if Duke had a license. Word was that they were making inquiries with some of the neighbors about Duke's habits. They were trying to get in touch with this one squirrel in the backyard. Apparently Duke has been a little bit abusive to this squirrel, scaring it out of its up into the tree. I mean, his problems have been compounded. The Times a couple of weeks ago, and now we're figuring out why. They had his picture in the paper twice. And one day I was trying to get him into the car, and he said, no, he's not getting it. He wanted to go dig balls, and that was it. He was being ordinary, and I couldn't get him into the car. And I said, well, Duke's acting strangely. The next day, he's out fashioning and just showing his new clothing line that he's developed. He's got this Duke for Paladino and these different outfits that he wears, you know. And he's trying to attract attention. And I told him, I said, this press is going to get to you. You've got to stop this. Last weekend, sitting there on the family room floor, reading scripts. He thinks he's going to Hollywood.
Tell him he's going to the governor's mansion.
That's for sure. Been an interesting ride. In one day, actually, 6-hour period. I went to bed last night at 2:30 in the morning. We drove from New York City to Binghamton, and I got up at around 9 o'clock. In that period of time, we gained 23% in the polls. As our chairlady said, it's nonsense. I suffered for 4 days with a Siena poll that was given total credibility by a press that has so little regard for the negative effect that they have when they print uncredible information. This same poll, 2 days before the primary, had me down 43 to 42%. We felt that we were surging, and we felt that we would pass him and win by a point or two. We won by 26 points. What the press was unable to gauge was the turnout. I inquired of our pollster, I said, how can this stuff be so confusing? Up, down 6, down 20, down 37, now down 14. But how can it be so messed up? And they said they can't gauge the turnout. This is one of those years where all past performance is thrown out the window. And without it, they don't know what to do with themselves. They should not be printing this nonsense. It's a disservice to the people. The negative effect of for 4 days, our press pounding every day that Paladino's crashed. 37 points and falling. And they print it as though it's legitimate. And everyone in this state who deals with politics knows that Siena is the worst of the worst. Rasmussen is a somewhat respected poll. But in any event, in a year like this, you should tell the people that you can't conduct a viable poll, a legitimate poll. And as our chair lady said, the only poll that's counting to us right now is on November 2nd. That's when we're going to get out to vote. We're going to get everybody out to vote. Yeah. And we're going to win. I've been from Ripley to Plattsburgh to Montauk to the far ends of Staten Island. People are the same. The look on their faces, the same. They may look a little bit differently, but that look on their faces. Those people in Manhattan, they're as upside down as we are up here in Binghamton. They're just on another. Their economy is a little bit different than ours. They're paying their strap hangers, okay, it's the only reasonable way of trying to get around down there, and they're paying huge fares to an agency that is totally out of control, full of bureaucratic nonsense, political nonsense, incompetence, conductors making 3 times their base wage in overtime. And that's what's wrong for us up here too. On Nassau and on the island, in Suffolk and Nassau, they have the highest taxes anywhere in America. Our state has the highest property taxes anywhere in America. And 3 of the worst counties are right here in upstate. But Nassau, Suffolk, and 3 more up here. 60% above the national mean. People say, what are you going to do about jobs? Well, I don't think it's such a hard thing to figure out when you've been in business for 40 years. First, identify, how do we lose those jobs? What made those jobs leave the state of New York? 274,000 jobs were lost in this state. What happened to all of our industry? Why did they leave? They left because our taxes are totally debilitating. And they saw nothing on the horizon that was going to improve things, because all they saw was wasteful, totally neglectful mandate programs, throwing money away and charging the taxpayer. And they said, There's no future here. Our employees can't stand it. We can't stand it. We can't compete. Other states that don't have any type of business taxes, that respect the fact that the businesses have to be inspired to grow. We've got to give them a breather. Wouldn't we rather tax the new employees they hire than tax those businesses? Doesn't it make more sense to encourage those businesses to do better, to give them the opportunity to compete and to grow? What's my plan? I'm going to reverse what happened. High taxes, bureaucratic red tape, licensing, rules and regulations. Nonsense coming out of a bureaucratic government, a progressive government that wants to continue to grow and impose itself on every aspect of its life so it can create more jobs in government. Self-perpetuating, self-sustaining. They create a job and then they come up with a job description. Oh, let's talk about fishing licenses. How many people here have fishing licenses? When you go to get your fishing license, you put the money on a counter. Do you have to take a test? No. You have to sign in the affidavit that you're going to throw a little fish back in? No. So you don't have to show them you cast underhand or overhand or just drop the line in, right? You don't have to show them any of that. No. Well, why do we have fishing licenses? What do you guys do with the money? I call it DEC. What do you do with the money? Oh, we hire fishing wardens. Really? And what do they do? Well, they give tickets to people who don't have fishing licenses. Upside down government. High taxes, meaning rules and regulations. High taxes. Well, we're going to cut, not cap spending, we're going to cut spending. Andrew Cuomo wants to cap the rate of growth of spending in the state of New York. We're in a deflationary period. He wants to cap it. We will cut it. We will cut taxes. He wants to cap taxes. He's going to cap the rate of growth of taxes. We're going to cut it. We're going to cut spending 20% and taxes 10% in our first year. And thereafter, every year during my administration. We're going to send a message out to our business community, our manufacturers, our creative industries, and our farms, and we're going to tell them this is the way our government is headed in the future. We're going to, in addition to cut the income tax 10% in all brackets, we're going to cut the we're going to eliminate the New York State franchise minimum tax on all businesses. And we're going to phase out over 2 years the New York State franchise tax on manufacturers, creative industries, and farms. We're going to tell our businesses by doing that this is the way things are going to be in the state of New York. You can expand your business here. We're going to make you competitive. We're going to have an atmosphere that's pro-growth and pro-expansion of jobs. But most importantly, we're going to give your employees a grounded government that they can then talk to their children and their grandchildren about. And they can instill the confidence in them that when you go and work hard in school, you're going to come out and you're going to get a fulfilling job here in the state of New York. And your life is going to be good. And you're going to raise a family. You're going to take care of your parents when they get older. And you're going to take care of those grandparents. There's no greater wisdom that a grandparent could give to his grandchildren.